I'm just good at caring too much. I'm just good at caring too much. Is it too much to ask that you?
Hey guys, what is up? It's Amy and welcome back to my channel. I make videos on affordable and sustainable fashion with an emphasis on thrifting. Today is going to be another thrift flip where I take something I bought from Goodwill and transform it so it actually fits me. I'll put a link to the video up here the last time I did this video, but you guys seem to really enjoy it, and in that video I transformed a pair of pants to actually fit me correctly. Today we're going to do the same thing except with a skirt. And I know because of social distancing you probably have a lot of time on your hands, so go into your closet and find a skirt that doesn't fit you correctly so you can kind of go through this video with me and make it fit you a little bit better. So put down your bag of chips, put down your TV remote, and actually get to sewing. So in my last video I transformed this pair of pants to fit me a little bit better. As you can see, it's just really plain pair of black plaid pants, but I basically made a dart in the front and the back so that the waist is a little bit smaller, and that's what we're going to be doing in this video for the skirt. So if you don't know what a dart is, it's basically just a triangle. As you can see, I sewed starting from here all the way to here. It's basically just a triangle that kind of makes like a shape like this instead of a square, and it basically just makes a more curved appearance on clothing, so you can use it for pants. But most of the times with darts you see them in a lot of women's clothing, so you can have some space for your boobs. So this is a skirt that we're going to be transforming today, which I already transformed actually. I filmed a lot of like talking clips throughout this video, but the audio quality was really bad. I can insert a clip. First marks, as you can see, these are the 2 marks that I made. I kind of didn't consult the... As you can see, the audio was just absolute trash, so I'm kind of redoing the different audio for these bits. But this is the skirt that we're going to be working on. It's just gray, kind of like a, I think this is like houndstooth or something. I thought it was a really pretty print, so that's why I was really drawn to the skirt, but it didn't really fit me correctly, and today we're going to fix that with making darts on this skirt. So the first step is going to be to try it on to see how much fabric we are going to be taking off, and I just tried it on inside out so the markings would be easier to see when I actually laid the skirt out, and I pinched about how much fabric was comfortable, and that's exactly how much we're going to be taking off on the sides of the skirts. I didn't have my earrings in for the first part of this, but it's fine. So once you have your measurements ready, you're going to want to begin drawing the darts, and obviously however much you want to take off from the entire skirt, you want to divide that by 2, and that's going to be how much you're going to take off both sides. And then what I did was I took that number and divided by 2, and that's how much you're going to be measuring out from the side seams. So if you're going to be taking off 2 inches on each side, then looking at this side, you're going to be doing 1 inch on this side, 1 inch on this side, and then when you pinch it in half, that's like the full 2 inches. So this is the finished result of the dart, but you basically just go from wherever your marking was on the waist of the skirt, and you just draw a triangle all the way to the side seam. So I just chopped off these little side dangly pieces that were kind of annoying, and then continue on making my dart, being sure to measure straight from the side seam rather than the sides of the actual skirt. And then I measured 6 inches from the waist down the side seam, and this is where the point of our triangle would be. Once I had my darts drawn in, the triangles already, I just pinned it down before sewing, and I just wanted to give you guys a quick sewing tip. Whenever you're putting in pins, be sure that the ball point is facing towards you, because it's much easier to just pull it out towards you rather than having to pull it around the other way. Okay, we're finally to the part where we can start sewing. I believe in this part I was trying to say that because the thread is not going to be seen, I'm not even going to bother changing the white thread. So once you measured out your side seam, you're going to want to pin it down, and I just use some regular, whatever these are called, just like your regular ballpoint pins or something like that. So a couple pointers for making your darts. You're first going to want to make sure that it is a straight line, because if it's not straight, then when you open it back up, you're going to like see bumps and ridges in your seam, which is not what you want. So make sure your line is straight, and if you have to sew slow, then definitely do that, but it's better to sew slow and have a straight line. The second thing that you're going to want to keep in mind is that as you're sewing your dart, you want to make sure that you don't go over this side seam, because otherwise you're clearly going to see it on the other side of the fabric when you flip it over. And I definitely made this mistake, which you will see later in the video. But yeah, make sure you don't go over the side seam. After you sew your darts, you're just going to want to take the end and tie it in a knot so that it doesn't unravel. So here in making the second dart is when I made the big mistake, and what I did was sew over the side seam. There was a clear deviation from the side seam that you can see from the front of the fabric, and to fix it, all I did was seam rip the parts that went over the side seam and then kind of stitch over the end part just to kind of keep it intact. But if you do end up going over the side seam, this is the easy fix, and try not to do it, but when you do, just know that there is a way out. So after I sewed the waist down, it honestly fits so perfectly. I was so happy with it, but I kind of realized that the rest of the skirt was just still a little bit big on me, so I decided to slim it down a little bit. And what I ended up doing for this was just honestly freehanding it, basically a straight line. I tried to do a little bit of a curve, but honestly I wasn't trying to be too perfect with it. This was basically just to make the skirt more flat on my body, because what I kind of noticed that it was kind of lumpy around the hips, so that's what I ended up doing next to make sure that the skirt actually fit me right. Like I said, in sewing up the sides, I just kind of freehanded it by pinning it and then sewing straight down the line that I had pinned together. I feel like you don't have to be super precise when it comes to sewing down the sides. It doesn't have to be as precise as the hip, so I just kind of freehanded it and then tried it on to see if it fit, and when it didn't, I stitched some more. So after sewing and trying it on a couple more times, I honestly was trial and error. I didn't really feel like sitting there and measuring out how much I need to sew from both sides to make the skirt fit me, because I didn't think it'd have to be perfect. It ended up looking really good, but every time I tried on the skirt, I just did not like the length of it. At first I was gonna leave it, but it just was not interesting to me. So yeah, once I got the skirt to fit correctly, I just made the hem a little bit shorter, and I think I ended up liking the length. So when it comes to the hem, I just did a straight stitch with black thread because I was a little bit lazy. I'm a pretty lazy person. I think that's relatable. But I just did a straight stitch, but if you really want to, you can definitely do an invisible hem, which I will not get into in this video, but that would be a much more professional way of finishing off the skirt. So that's basically the finished look of this skirt. I thought it was really easy to do. All you really need to do is make darts on the sides and then just sew straight down. You can honestly do this just with needle and thread. It's not really complicated, and I definitely think this is something basically anyone is able to do. If you guys want me to do a tutorial where I show you guys how I would do it with a needle and thread so it's a little bit easier and more accessible to you guys, I would think that would be really interesting, so you can comment that down below. Obviously, after I completed my skirt, I had to whip out my turtleneck and do kind of some outfit shots with it, and I thought it looked really nice with the turtleneck, and this is basically the completed look.
I'm just good